Hey guys, today we're going to talk about the history of the Flintstones. Now, the Flintstones have been one of my favorite cartoons for a very long time, and I always knew them. I also like their cereal too, so I like that too. Season 1. Now that the Hanna-Barbera were stars, and at Saturday mornings, they decided to go a different route. It being the Flintstones. They wanted to make it adult cartoon. It is a family called the Flintstones who lived in the Stone Age, live in a modern time. Well, as modern as it can be. The show was going to be called the Flagstones, but there was already a comic strip of a family called the Flagstons. And I guess it sounded a little bit similar. But the it changed to the Flintstones, stayed in the Hanna-Barbera's heads for a long time. It wouldn't be until coming to life. They couldn't wait for it to come to life. Let's just say. Season 2. The characters were based off of the show of the Honeymooners, or maybe all too much, because once the show got started, it was the family was ready to go. The writer of the Honeymooners, Jack, almost sued Hanna-Barbera for the Flintstones for being too similar to the Honeymooners. They almost did anyway. But since it was since it was set in the Stone Age and all that stuff, and since they had Pebbles and Bam Bam, it wasn't too similar anymore. So I guess they just called them off with a warning. And Dino too. A little bit more screen time with Dino there. And maybe Barney's pet kangaroo, Hoppy, was in there for a while as well. And besides, The Honeymooners was a very old show, so it's seen better days, you know. Season 3. The Flintstones became very successful over the years. It done many things that never been done before in many shows, like Wilma being pregnant with Pebbles. That have never happened before in any movie, show, or whatsoever. It was a very good way to show a real family that they were relatable as possible. Hedda and Barbera wanted to name Pebbles Baby Fred Jr., but that was scrapped. They decided to make it a girl to sell merchandise, I guess. Now, I'm glad they chose Pebbles because I think I like her better than Fred Jr. Then they would have made the Flintstone kids or whatever. Season 4. In the beginning, it was in black and white, and the show was brought to you by different stuff like cigarettes and other stuff like that. And then Season 3 rolled in, and it was changed to color and brought to you by Welch's. And their theme song, Meet the Flintstones, became so popular that Meet the Flintstones was their new theme song. You see, back in Season 1, they had a different introduction of the Flintstones. I highly recommend you go and check out the theme song. I'll leave a link for it down in the description down below if you want to take a look at the differences between them. So anyway, when I saw the first theme song, I was a little bit confused at first, because I wanted to watch the Flintstones on Boomerang, and I watched it, and I was really confused. Like, where's the one I know? Where's the theme song that I know from? And then I watched it, and then I realized, oh, it's a later season. So I guess they changed it later on after I wanted to make it a family show. You see, they started making it for adults only, but then they decided to make it for kids too, because it's more like a family-oriented show, like Full House or one of those shows. And Flintstones was basically the first cartoon, I think, to actually be a family-oriented show. Aside from maybe the Loud House or whatever, but still, it's a pretty good cartoonish type of family show, basically. The Flintstones became so popular, it won an Academy Award for Outstanding Performance, and a lot of spark would become and a lot of stars will come and voice, the celebrities will come and voice the characters. For 12 years, the Flintstones, it became the longest series ever made, except for maybe the Simpsons or SpongeBob. Season 5. After the show's run had ended, Hanna-Barbera released a movie about them called A Man Called Flintstone, which is a movie I highly recommend it. Sorry, there's a lot of animals out here. I highly recommend you go watch that movie because it really is a really good movie. It's basically a James Bond and Fred Flintstone type of show. So, like, a movie. It's a really, I highly recommend you go, and it's worth a watch. Let's just say. There's even a spin-off shows as well, like Fred Flintstone and Friends, the Flintstones Kids, Fred and Barney meets the Thing. Yeah, I'm telling you, that's a thing. From the Fantastic Four, and Pebbles and Bam Bam, where they were grown up. And they had a show too. Yeah, I'm not kidding about that either. They all have shows. I'm not kidding. Yeah, it was crazy. They had live action movies too, like the Flintstones. And the Flintstones Go to Rock Vegas? Yeah, it's something like that. You can forgive me if I'm wrong, but I think it's like Rock of Vegas or something like that. It has got very low ratings though, so if you guys do not want to watch those movies, I recommend you don't. Those live action movies, they're not that good. But if you really are curious, I guess you could watch them, but they're really not that good. You probably should stick to the animated stuff instead. In short, the Flintstones was a cult classic for critics and families to come. Decades. Or as Fred would call the show, it's a yabba dabba doo of a show.